What's up, developers? Welcome to Talking AI, where we break down the AI news that actually affects your code, your wallet, and your weekend plans. So Walmart happened this week. They just rolled out an AI-powered translation tool for their associates, and honestly, it's actually not terrible. I know, I'm as shocked as you are. But first, I just have to share this with someone. Bear with me. Since Google launched AI-generated videos with Veo 3, I have been a bit skeptical on quality. If you've seen my video on OpenAI's deal with Google from my AI Weekly Roundup, you will know why. If you haven't seen it, check out my channel where I provide updates on the AI industry throughout the week and other AI-related content. Yes, too exciting. Unlike that clip and very much like the clip I share at the end of that video, Gemini actually does quality work. When there aren't any action shots and moving parts, full-on cringing just remembering. But for making it this far into the video, I bring you this great time. Tell me that absolutely wasn't awesome. Check out that quality. Let's get back to it. Where was I? Oh yeah, Walmart. They quietly launched a translation feature that supports 44 languages and works with both text-to-text and speech-to-speech. But here's the kicker. It's not just running vanilla Google Translate. They've trained it with Walmart-specific knowledge. What does that mean? Well, if a customer asks for Great Value orange juice in Spanish, the system actually knows that Great Value is Walmart's house brand and keeps it properly translated instead of turning it into Gran Valor Zumo de Naranja or whatever chaos regular translation APIs would spit out. It's like Netflix training an AI specifically to understand that when someone says that show with the dragons, they probably mean Game of Thrones and not Dragon Tales. Except instead of recommending medieval fantasy, Walmart's AI is helping associates find aisle 7. Let me repeat that. Walmart built a custom translation layer on top of their existing AI infrastructure specifically for their 2.1 million associates worldwide. This isn't some third-party integration they slapped together over a weekend. They're using their proprietary Element machine learning platform to power this thing. Translation for developers. They're not just throwing money at OpenAI's API and calling it a day. They built retail-specific language models that understand context like product names, store layouts, and probably whether bathroom means the customer needs directions or wants to buy toilet paper. Now, before you panic about AI taking over customer service jobs, let's talk about what this actually does. The tool runs on associates' mobile devices through their existing app infrastructure. It handles the mundane translation work, so humans can focus on actually helping customers instead of playing charades in the cleaning supplies aisle. For developers, this means Walmart is essentially running a domain-specific language model that's been fine-tuned for retail vocabulary across 44 languages. That's actually impressive. Most companies can barely get their chatbots to understand English, and Walmart's out here building multilingual retail interpreters. But wait, it gets better. They're planning to add more languages and roll this out internationally, because apparently running translation models across thousands of stores in 19 countries wasn't ambitious enough. Here's what this actually means for developers. Walmart just proved that industry-specific AI translation isn't just possible, it's profitable. They're not using this as a marketing gimmick. This is going into production in actual stores, where miscommunication costs real money. Think about it. Every time an associate can't help a customer because of a language barrier, that's lost revenue. Every time someone leaves frustrated because they couldn't find what they need, that's a customer who might shop elsewhere. Walmart just turned a business problem into a technical solution that probably pays for itself. For the open source crowd, while we're not getting the Walmart retail translation models anytime soon, this validates the approach of building domain-specific language models instead of relying on general-purpose translation APIs. Your weekend projects might not need to understand the difference between Great Value and generic brand, but the principle applies. The really interesting part, this isn't Walmart's first rodeo with conversational AI. They've been running multilingual customer support across the US, Canada, Mexico, Chile, and India since at least 2023. Their Chilean team saw customer satisfaction scores increase by 38% when they deployed localized language models. So, while everyone else is busy arguing about whether ChatGPT can write code, Walmart quietly built a translation infrastructure that handles millions of customer interactions per week. It's the equivalent of Tesla focusing on making better batteries while everyone else argues about the color of the charging stations. Look, I'm usually the first person to roll my eyes at corporate AI announcements, but this one actually makes sense. Walmart identified a real problem, language barriers in retail, and built a targeted solution instead of trying to boil the ocean with some generic AI assistant. They're not claiming this will replace human workers or revolutionize retail forever. They're just saying, hey, our associates can now help customers in 44 languages without needing to speak 44 languages. That's reasonable? Plus, they built it on their existing infrastructure using their own data and models. No vendor lock-in, no surprise API costs, no waiting for OpenAI to decide whether retail translation violates their usage policies. Of course, your API costs probably aren't going down anytime soon. Building custom language models requires the kind of infrastructure and data that most of us don't have lying around. But the business model here is solid. Solve a specific problem for your specific industry, instead of trying to build the next general-purpose AI assistant. For developers working on customer-facing applications, this is worth paying attention to. Walmart just demonstrated that domain-specific translation models can work at scale. If you're building anything that needs to handle multiple languages in a specialized context, generic translation APIs might not cut it. Walmart plans to expand this internationally and add more languages. Given that they operate in 19 countries and serve 255 million customers weekly, we're probably looking at one of the largest deployments of retail-specific AI translation in the world. The real test will be whether other retailers follow suit or if Walmart just created a competitive advantage that's harder to replicate than it looks. My money's on other companies scrambling to build similar systems because nobody wants to be the retailer that can't communicate with their own customers. That's the TLDR on Walmart's AI translation rollout. They built a 44-language translation system that understands retail context, deployed it to associates' mobile devices, and somehow made it actually useful instead of just impressive. If this saved you from reading 47 blog posts about corporate AI transformation, hit subscribe. And if you're building translation features for your own applications, drop a comment. Would love to hear how you're handling domain-specific language models in your weekend projects.